Good evening. Emergency crews remain on high alert tonight as the Adelaide Hills bushfire enters a dangerous new phase. But late today, some good news, with authorities revealing they're growing in confidence ahead of tomorrow's horrendous conditions. Brenton Raglas is at Paracombe CFS station and joins us now. Good evening, Brenton. What's the feeling on the ground there?
Yes, good evening, Kate. Well, certainly a different vibe here tonight with CFS crews and their colleagues from interstate enjoying a well-earned rest, putting up their boots and enjoying a barbecue dinner. Because late this afternoon, CFS Chief Officer Greg Nettleton revealed authorities were now more confident of controlling this blaze ahead of tomorrow's forecast high temperatures and possible lightning. But they won't be taking any chances. More than 500 firefighters remain on the ground at any one time, supported by more than 30 aircraft. As more on the fire ground was assessed today, the shocking damage toll has risen sharply. Tragically, 167 buildings have been destroyed, including up to 38 houses and 4 businesses. 134 people have been treated for a range of injuries, 23 have been admitted to hospital, and 416 families have registered with emergency relief centres, including 60 in emergency accommodation. And some of those families are gathering together tonight. Reporter Alice Monfries is in Kersbrook, where a community meeting is just about to get underway. And Alice, what's going to be discussed there tonight?
Well, Brenton, CFS will be here tonight to answer any questions locals have about the ongoing fight against this blaze, including how best to prepare and what to expect for the horror conditions forecast for tomorrow. Now, it's also a chance to find out from those affected families just what they've lost and what they need, so that others who've come here tonight to help know exactly what to donate or offer. Now, there are many families who have lost almost everything, and today I spoke with some who came incredibly close to even losing their lives. Her parents' home is gutted and family heirlooms destroyed, but Di Lane came frighteningly close to also losing her father.
Thank goodness he's alive, and that's thanks to the police and the CFS. So thank you very much.
Brian Ansell was rescued as he tried to save his burning home and his 30 alpacas when the fire tore through Gummaraka on Saturday.
He thought he could look after animals and the house on his own at 84, which is just crazy. He did his best.
Century-old family possessions, including an antique grandfather clock, reduced to rubble.
He wants to rebuild. I hope we can support him to do what he wants to do to recover, but it's a very difficult one at that age. You know, you've lost your whole life's work.
Peter Attenborough's determination to save his life's work almost killed him too. This is what he saw as he tried to defend his Kersbrook home, but was soon surrounded.
I cried. I thought I was going to die. So, yeah, it was pretty scary.
Unable to find his car keys, he prepared to say goodbye to his wife and daughter. But as the blaze closed in, Elvis appeared, bombing water across his property.
The helicopter did a fantastic job. It saved my life and saved most of our houses. It's just amazing.
But it couldn't save everything.
We lost a lot of sheep and my auntie lost a horse.
Gummaraka locals also suffering heavy livestock losses.
Went down there and saw these dead sheep, and some were still standing, burnt, so rushed back, cut my way back through again and got the gun out there and put a few down. And
more than 100 sheep and cattle have been destroyed. Many others will be sold with little or no feed left. And as residents do start returning home, the CFS is warning the need to be aware of dangers is heightened, as many are likely to be tired and traumatised to be seeing the damage for the first time themselves.
What do you say? It's one of those things. You live in the hills and that's what happens. It burnt through in 83 and virtually the same again.
Alice Monfries, 9 News.
Well, tragically, that impact is going to be felt for a long time to come. Well, as you can see behind us, our local fire force is being aptly backed by our comrades over the border in New South Wales and Victoria. 400 interstate firefighters have joined the cause, some capturing the firefight and giving an insight into the dangers they all face.
New South Wales rural firefighters come to the rescue of a humbug scrub homeowner as fire creeps dangerously close. They save the Frank Barker Road home just in time.
It's an arduous task. It's the terrain is very steep, so the boys are working hard.
the sort of effort which has been displayed by South Australia's Country Fire Service since Friday. This vision highlighting the heroics as firefighters battle to fend off flames from this Devil's Gully Road home.
It was pretty intense at some points. Like, you know, you're looking at the fire and you see just how crazy it was, and people can see from a distance just how big and insane the fire was.
And a clear picture why they weren't going to battle this disaster alone. Close to 200 Rural Fire Service volunteers flew over from New South Wales on Saturday to assist their South Australian counterparts, while 5 fire trucks, 1 tanker and a navigation vehicle made the 16-hour drive across the border.
We're all volunteers, none of us are getting paid for it. We just, and people say, oh, I feel sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for us. We love it.
Today, on day 4 of their deployment, they battled smouldering bushland, still a serious threat to nearby homes.
We don't want it to spot over here, so if you make sure you put the bloody thing out.
We're used to this, but not so much this terrain. You know, the hills here are really steep. We don't usually get that.
And let's go live now to Samantha Vardis at Nairn's Tent City, which these volunteers are calling home.
Yeah, they sure are, Brenton, and hundreds of firefighters from New South Wales and Victoria will be returning here to base camp very shortly. Now, these guys left here at 6 o'clock this morning, so I reckon they'll be keen for a bit of shut-eye. Now, behind me here, the SES have set up 110 tents as well as 4 marquees, which is expected to house those 400 firefighters here tonight. And by the way, that fire is looking, they expect this to be Tent City until at least the end of the week. And once they return here, I reckon it will be straight to the showers for those guys and some well-deserved rest. Brenton?
Yeah, indeed. Thank you, Sam. Well, while there is an air of confidence, we have heard the danger is far from over, with more extreme conditions tomorrow. Eddie Godfrey is live at One Tree Hill, and Eddie, this fire has injured dozens.
It sure has, Brenton, and sadly many of them are firefighters. They're among 134 people who've been treated by paramedics since this fire started on Friday. All up, 23 people have been hospitalised. 1 remains at the Royal Adelaide Hospital in a serious condition after a blackened tree fell on him, and that is an ongoing hazard for everyone here at the fireground, and something we were very aware of too today when we toured the fireground with the CFS. Blackened trees stand like ghosts in ash-covered valleys. Our normally stunning landscape scorched to the soil.
You see things from the Victorian fires and that sort of stuff and you think, oh yeah, you know, I'm prepared for that. Until it's coming towards you, you're just not prepared for it. You just can't describe it.
But among the desolate hillsides, there are signs of life. This is the locals' way of saying thanks to hundreds of brave emergency crews.
My angels in yellow, they really are.
We thought if they can come through and see this and just see that, just a small thank you and token of appreciation, it might just give them a little bit more pep in the step to keep facing the animal up the road that they've got to face every day.
After 5 days of hell on earth, fireys now believe they've gained the upper hand.
With the resources at hand at the moment, the number of firefighters in that local vicinity, I'm increasingly confident that tomorrow is posing a lesser threat than it was yesterday.
But the blaze has already taken so much away, raising almost 13,000 hectares.
The fire perimeter is 240 odd kilometres in length. We'll put it in another context. It's almost equivalent of the road length between Sydney and Canberra.
This blaze moved so rapidly, fire crews knew they'd lost it on Friday afternoon. By the time they had an aircraft up in place to organise a retardant line ahead of the fire front, it was already too late. The new Governor and Emergency Services Minister toured the fireground this afternoon, both shocked by what they've seen.
It won't be a scene I'll forget quickly, I can tell you. It'll be etched in my mind.
And I can't thank everybody who involved in this operations enough for the effort, the heroic act they have done.
Emergency crews warn a huge danger still remains for residents and volunteers. Flare-ups and hot windy conditions present an ongoing threat. Eddie Godfrey, 9 News.
Now for the latest on the extreme conditions ahead, and Virginia Langerberg is at Tea Tree Gully CFS station. Virginia, what can we expect tomorrow?
Well, a very hot day in short, Brenton, and it will be slightly warmer tonight as well for the city and here in the hills as well. It's only dropping to 25 degrees on the forecast for Adelaide and 20 in the hills here. But tomorrow heating up again, a top of 38 degrees in the city, and for the hills 37 degrees. But we'll see northerly winds driving for most of the day tomorrow. So that is the concern with those northerly winds pushing the southern flank of this fire. And there is also the chance of a thunderstorm in the afternoon, with a 50% chance we'll see some showers in that before the evening, but it's basically under 2 millimetres on the forecast at this stage. But the good news is after tomorrow, if we can get through it safely, there is some rain on the way. Thursday, Friday and Saturday all have a very good chance of rain, so we are really looking forward to that, Brenton.